It is Thursday, August 9th, and I am joined here by Chris Burns. Debbie's already here. Yay!
Debbie's on it. She's on it.
I love this platform. It's so cool. And today we're going to be talking about thinking bigger and actually living it. And I've got with me the fabulous Chris Burns. Chris, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do?
Sure. So I am Chris Burns. I'm the co-founder of Burn It Up Coaching, and we help entrepreneurs and high achievers to get unstuck so they can kick butt, take names, and have an epic life. And then I also have a weekly 12-hour personal development live stream marathon called Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self, which you came on, JJ, and rocked it last week. And your episode's about to be published, so I wanted to let you know that it's coming out. It just got posted up today. Get it all edited, all that good stuff. Anyways, cool. I love helping people achieve their dreams and be their greatest possible self. It fires me up. I love learning. I'm super curious about how the world works, why we do the things that we do. And I'm all about leveling up to be our best self, our greatest possible self.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, for those of you that don't know who I am, although you're on my page, so I'm guessing you may know who I am. I'm the host of several podcast shows, including Fit to Love, and Spirit, Purpose, and Energy. And I'm hosting a live event this September called The Next Big Step. And Chris will be one of my presenters at The Next Big Step. And we did this whole thing last week with Lisa Thomas and Melanie Benson, who will also be presenters at The Next Big Step. And I'm all about taking the mind, body, soul integrated approach. So today's topic is about thinking bigger and actually living it. Because I know in this space, a lot of people hear the words and they think they're supposed to do affirmations, they're supposed to put pictures on their walls, and they're supposed to, say that they're going to do all these things. And there's this like dichotomy between like thinking about it and actually doing it or living it. And that integration piece is where it's all at, because otherwise it's just information you're not using. If you're not living it, what good is it to you? Yeah. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And so I appreciate all of you that are here. Thank you, Debbie. And I think Chris is here and Petya is here. And you guys, we're gonna handle this a little bit like a preview to the event, but also a coaching session. So I have some questions from people who can't be live or are live, but wanted me to have the question ahead of time. And I wanted to go over, Chris, tell me and tell everyone who's watching, because we're going to be doing this at the event. Mm-hmm. How do you take your clients and the people that you work with through that integration process of getting them to think big and getting excited? Because, there's a lot of testosterone. One of the reasons that I really appreciate you, because I'm going to put it out there as no judgment, but you're younger than I am, and you have that sort of very young, excitable energy, which I love. But what I love more about that for you is that I don't feel like it's bottomless, like it doesn't have a foundation. A lot of people go, woo, 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 and get like all like testosterone, like, woo, and you're like, shut up, calm down. and I feel like you have that sort of solid, centered, grounded. I can go in either direction, and it's not about just hyped up caffeine, pump up testosterone that makes me want to like cringe. So and that's why I like you, because you sort of embody the spiritual and the foundation and the excitement and the looking at things from a different perspective. So I want you to, with that in mind, for those of you that don't know Chris who are watching this, that is one of the reasons why I've invited him to partake in being part of the presenters for the next big step. Because while I want his masculine energy, I really want his example of, like, I know you went and did a 10-day meditation. I'm like, oh my God, I want to be there next time too. Someone that's in their 20s who are going to do a 10-day silent retreat. I mean, for crying out loud, how many 20-year-olds can you take their phone away from them for more than a couple hours? So it's like, you're really, you're really in that integrative space that I really appreciate about you. So tell us a little bit more about how you work with clients and what you're going to be doing at the next big step to help that.
Yeah, absolutely. So how I am today is not how I always was, right? I'm doing the amazing things, coaching my clients, interviewing leaders around the world to help our audience master themselves and create their reality. And I love that I get to empower people to share their message, share their voice. Because back when I was younger, I felt like I didn't have a voice. I felt like I wasn't able to be self-expressed. Now, in that, there's something that for me, when I say I am committed to this vision, I am committed to this goal, this dream, this big thinking, there's something that inspires me, that ignites me, that makes me come alive, that I didn't have when I was younger, because I was afraid to communicate it. I was afraid to share about it. I was afraid to explore, to be wrong, to be judged, like the doubts were so loud. So through a process of really looking at what makes me passionate, what gets me fired up, what gets me excited, and also what gets me pissed off, what gets me angry, what are the things that really, make my blood boil, like seeing injustices, seeing people get taken advantage of, seeing people get bullied, seeing people get separated and excluded because of the differences that are going on with them. Like I'm so grateful for the foundation that I have had with my parents, with my family, with the upbringing that I had. And I just know that sometimes I've taken that for granted, and it's gotten me in trouble. It's actually had me hit rock bottom, throwing away my life, throwing away everything that was important to me, and just taking it all for granted. So that's what I want to empower people to step away from, that taking life for granted and just going through the motions, just being on autopilot, and turn it into a life that's fueled by your desire, that's fueled by your vision. Because I think without that vision, it's really there's no juice to draw from. Without the vision of who you're impacting, the communities, the people, the achievement that you're looking to create, the type of world, the vision for your world that you want to create, our world, your communities, whoever is important to you, who are the people that are impacted. That's one of the first things that we look at with our clients at Burn It Up Coaching is who are the people that you want to impact? What were the pains? What were the things that in the past, the traumas from your upbringing, from your parents, your family, and the people around you, communities, whatever, what was the trauma from then, and how can you channel that into your purpose moving forward to make sure that other people don't have to suffer with the same thing that you suffered from. So really it's designing that vision by looking at what inspires you, what gets you fulfilled, and what are the things that gets you pissed off. And that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about at the event as well, getting into designing that vision and then also breaking it down into bite-sized steps, because like you said, there's a lot of people who talk about this, but it's just talk. And I've always been focused on how do I execute? How do I apply? How do I build? I have this engineering background, and I'm like, I want to create something. I want it to be a masterpiece, something that really is cool and it has solid, touch to it. And that was also a challenge for me because I had to learn how to have faith. I wanted everything to be tangible. I wanted everything to be, I can touch it. So I had a challenge with, God and spirituality and universe and source, because I couldn't touch it. I couldn't touch that thing. So I had to evolve in my faith. But that's a side topic. And really the focus is design that vision and reverse engineer it so that you can take the steps to achieve it. Now, once you have the vision, start asking yourself, okay, if this is the vision I have for the world, think about the communities you want to impact. What do you want to see? Maybe it's, world peace. Maybe it's the community that you're a part of, disabled people, and that they have choice, they have options, they have the ability to have that freedom. Whatever it is for you, you have your own vision, you have your own purpose, and we can dive into that. And once you have that vision, then start breaking it down into steps. And what I think is a reasonable amount of time to break that down into is 3 years, like a 3-year goal. If you can set what you want your life to look like, and we're also going to be doing a perfect day, best day ever meditation at the event at 2. So like people can get into that space of what's it like? What does it feel like? What are the sensations? What can you touch? What can you taste? Who are you around? And just get into that feeling, get into that being, that embodiment of that vision being a reality. So I'd say start with those 3-year goals, break it down into the 1 year, like if you're achieving this in 3 years, then how are you on track in 1 year to achieve that? What do you have to accomplish in the next year to achieve those goals? And then breaking that down into 3-month projects, and then 1 month, 1 week, and 1 day. And it's pretty straightforward stuff, but sometimes you need someone to hold your hand through that to get that objective feedback of, does that make sense, and to bounce ideas off of, to clarify it so that you have a solid plan to be able to execute on. But really it's start dreaming, get clear on that vision, break it down, and then go out there and execute. And if you have challenges executing, taking action, doing, which some people do, get the support you need. Find people like JJ who's going to freaking hold you accountable and kick your butt, because you are no BS, JJ. And neither am I, right? We burn it up. The truth doesn't hurt. It burns. Like, we love to give people the fiery truth so that they can shine in their light, in their, the pressure that forms the diamond, that forms, who they get to be. And I'm not saying, life is all pressure and all grind, because like, I don't believe in that. I believe that there's seasons of life. I believe that there's a time to really just go at it and give 110% focus. this. And then there's definitely times to relax, to rejuvenate, to recharge, to just allow and receive. You know, like it's like planting a seed and allowing it to germinate. You got to give it time to germinate. You got to give it time to spread its roots so that it can grow. But really, it's all about designing that vision, breaking it down, and then achieving those steps, having people around you like JJ, like myself, an accountability group, a partner, mastermind, but really just get the support that you need. Raise your hand, ask for help, say, I need help. I think we all could use some help that would really make a difference for us, that would help us get to our next level. It's just being willing to ask for it and taking that leap.
Yeah, I think that there's a combination, and this is what I really appreciate about the people that are coming for us. So how I put everything together, especially in the last couple of years, is very intuitively. I've got pretty much a 50% right brain and a 50% left brain. And I've noticed that depending on who I'm talking to, if I'm talking about science-based things, I attract a lot of left brainers. So the engineers, the people that it's all sought, like they need to know tangible proof that things exist, right? But then when I actually sort of was true to myself and decided to rebrand the podcast into different shows and went to my sort of right brain self into the spiritual part, that is where I got sort of the biggest feedback that is sort of where I want to be and where I sort of belong. But I meld the two together all the time. So it's always a combination for everybody. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, you know, parts of what Chris is saying are going to hit you in different places. You're going to hear the meditation. You're going to be like, oh, I can't wait to meditate. Then you're going to hear the action steps. And you're going to go like, oh my God, I can't take, like, right. And like the whole, I have to make a plan. But if you're an engineer like he is, or if you're a left brain, you're going to be like, plan, I want to make a plan, I want to take action, right? But then the meditation might be, I can meditate. Now, my group, you guys are probably all like, woohoo, we're going to meditate, right? But this is where the integration piece is, right? So it's not about, especially for those of you that are on the manifestation challenge right now, there's that line between the thinking and the doing. And hopefully you've heard me say, and for those of you that aren't on my challenge or listen to Spirit, Purpose, and Energy, or any of my shows for that matter, I'm a big believer in inspired action. I've been an entrepreneur now for probably 18 years, and I misread how I was being fueled from the beginning. I had my eye on a prize that I thought when I got there, I'd be good. I'd be happy. I was like, I reached like the top of the mountain kind of thing. And oh, I can relax now. Or oh, systems are in place. But it's pie in the sky. It's always, you know, it's all the needle always moves. It's never a place to be. And what fuels that is usually anxiety. And I had to be really careful. You know, I asked Chris to join us, and there was maybe like one person before him that I had like an impulse for a second. I was like, nope, don't do it. And I was really like careful to say, I don't want to bring anxious anxiety, go energy into this, because it's a turnoff when it's not authentic. And so the difference is this living piece, right? Isn't, because most of us who have over 30, I'm not saying because you haven't done this, I know you have, but there were many, like, what is it, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, there was a whole lot of, and there still is, workshops out there that are very much about like, take charge, and they're so tiring. and for those people that did it and they got all pumped up while they were there and then they left, they're like, okay, it was great, but has my life really changed? And that is not what we're doing at all. And that is that. Go ahead.
I wanted to say what I love about this event is it's connecting the mind, the body, and the soul. You know, it's integrating all three, because I think that there's an aspect of go that is inspired and works, and that's like really necessary to build and create our dreams. And then there's also that other side. It's like the balance. How do we wield the duality of life, the yin and the yang energy, to create a reality, to create our life and our environment and our happiness, our joy, our fulfillment in a way that we're proud of the legacy that we're leaving. And also we're taking care of ourselves. We're enjoying the process. We're having fun on this adventure, on this journey, on this process of life, whatever we want to call it. It's just learning how to really bring those together. And that's what I'm excited about, because of all the amazing speakers that we got coming to this event with Lisa Thomas, you know, healing the past and that DNA, like, oh my gosh, talking about money. And you're going to be helping us with the fitness. And then we got food, and we got me breaking things down into goals. So it's like, there's so many different aspects that we're coming together to integrate. And then we're also talking about accountability after it as well, which is a key component, right? Like making sure you go to the event and then follow through. So yes, it's great to design that goal for 3 years and 1 year, but what happens when you leave the event And JJ, I know you have accountability built in to the event to make sure that people are supported after that. I think that is the best idea ever. Like, oh my gosh, please, more seminars. I'm so excited.
I had to, because that is the promise I need to make to everybody, that when you're coming to the event or you're part of the virtual ticket, that it's not just about, okay, bye, good luck, hope you don't, see you again. Like, we have a group and you're going to get accountability, because we want to make sure you're implementing this stuff. But again, it's not about even just that headspace. So I have a question from somebody who's actually coming to the event, and I wanted to read it. And Chris, she's here, and I see that maybe the internet's going in and out. She lost us for a second. Okay. So she said, at what point do you make up your mind about exactly what and who you want to be and do and be as an entrepreneur? I want to do so many things. I feel stuck because I'd love to do them all, but probably shouldn't. And I'm sure this is going to get covered next month at the event, but I want to be a good steward of these live sessions you were doing for us. So Chris, do you want to speak to that, or you want me to take it first?
Yeah, I'll speak to it, and then you can add on. So for me, like being young, I think I had an advantage, because I said, well, I'm in this process called life, and I'm just going to keep developing myself and finding out what is passionate and what fulfills me. Now, with me, I also had the challenge of, I don't know what I want to do. I'm unclear. I'm lacking clarity. That was in the past, and I had to seek that clarity. And so that's a big part of being a high achiever, high performer, and fulfilled, is seeking clarity. All the time, every day seek that clarity. Every day say, is this fulfilling me? Is this inspiring me? Am I still connected to this goal, to this vision? And through that process, you will trust yourself. You will learn to trust yourself and your intuition that, yes, I'm still excited about it. Yes, this is still fulfilling for me. And you start to listen to your intuition more and more to know, am I on the right track? Now, with the regards to the multi-talented, multi-passionate, I think that's a huge challenge these days, because so many people are gifted in a lot of different ways. There's so many opportunities, so many shiny object syndromes. For me, what I started to do is I said, I love mastery. I love mastering the basics. I love the concept of just investing into one thing and being so freaking good at it. So that was a belief that I just started to change. I started to affirm that more. I started to share that more, that I love that I'm mastering this, because I had so many things that I wanted to do, but I had to pick one for right now, just one or two, core areas that I want to really be world-class at. So I decided I was going to be world-class at this one thing. And after 6 months or a year, if you found that you weren't still being fulfilled by it, not that, hey, I'm getting tired of this journey and, this is hard, it's difficult, but that this doesn't feel in alignment, this doesn't feel congruent with who I know myself to be, then I would say it would be okay to pivot, or at least get the feedback of a coach or someone else who asks you those powerful questions of, why are you doing this? Getting to that why. What's the real why behind it? And when you ask that question, why am I doing this? And then you ask, well, why is that? Why is that? It's called the 5 whys. You ask yourself why 5 times, get 5 levels deep, then you can really see why you're doing things and find those core motivations, which is super powerful.
I was born with the 5 whys. Why? Why? People are like, will you be quiet? No, why? If you can't explain to me why, I can't get on board with that. So that's hilarious. Okay, so Chris she's here, and she wants to know, how do you choose just one thing? Coin flip. Okay, so here's what happened to me. Chris, as you've known me for a little while, and it's only, not that it's necessarily slowed down. I've just been able to identify and come from a different energy. Back when I started my business, literally I went into business thinking, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to figure out a method and a way to have people need me, so they keep paying me, so that I can have a sustainable business and then do what I want, or create something where I sell millions and millions of dollars worth of this thing, whatever it is, so that I can, and I went about it from the end in mind first. And while the vision of what you want to be, do, and have is very powerful and can absolutely manifest, my issue with it in that specific way was the driving force underneath it was anxiety. It was never about actually loving and being connected on a really deep level to exactly what I was doing. And it was always about trying to figure out what other people wanted from me. And it wasn't until years of going back and forth. Like, I used to read Entrepreneur Magazine. Well, I tried. I'd go to like Starbucks at the time. I don't do Starbucks anymore. I'd go to Starbucks and I'd sit down, and have to be full disclosure. I had to sit down and I'd literally get like 5 pages in. I would have 10 pages of notes. I would drive around for my clients, call my assistant, or have a recorder in the car every time I got an idea. My to-do list never, ever got smaller. Then I tried to do like the whole A, B, and C list. And that never got smaller. I mean, you just thought I'd have 10 more things because my brain was always coming up with stuff. Yeah. And so what I quickly learned is that I hated lists because they gave me anxiety, because they were never going to get done. And that's part of what I love about Law of Attraction is just, if you look at your life, like you're never going to get it all done. So how do you discern the difference of what your purpose is, or what your role is, or what you're supposed to be doing? And that's the balance between what is it that lights you up that you want to do, and then what comes through when you're in that aligned place, when you're in that solid, grounded, aligned place, not the fearful, I need to make a buck to pay the bill today place. In the oh my God, I love this, and I could just do this all day long for free. And it took me, I mean, look where we are right now. It took me this long in terms of, and there's been successes along the way, and I've been able, and it's all built upon each other. There's no, I made a mistake at any part of the process, because it all contrast helps with clarity. So when something is not right, it helps you to go, oh, I don't like this. I thought having a personal training business with personal trainers working for me was going to be the way that I did that. And then after I did, I went, oh, I don't like this. I don't like managing. And then the people that I said I needed to manifest, the people who were dependent, oh my God, the neediest people who would blame you for everything, not take responsibility. You know, the problem is that I had so much knowledge about the joints, I'd get all the people that no one else could train because they didn't know what to do with them. I had people with 6 and 7 injuries. And while that was great, I soon figured out after working with them, these people that don't want to get better, their injuries are causing them to give excuses in their life. But I had to learn that the hard way. I didn't know that going into it. So there's a little bit of I know you've listened to the show, Chris. I don't know if you heard the show with Ty. And Ty talked about, it's a really exercise that we did towards the end of the show. And it was about like on a dark road, right? You're on a dark road. You can't see too much in front of you. And you're like, you feel a little nervous about that. Or you're on a road that's paved ahead of you and you really, and now you're like relaxed. So it's something similar to look at your entrepreneurial journey as a paved road to what you want to feel, but you don't know what you're going to come. You don't know what stores are going to be along the way. You don't know what different features of the world you're going to see, or what interesting things are going to happen along the way. But it's all that dance of the balance of being able to get first in alignment with yourself, get into a place where you have a trust to allow that hit of what do I need to do next to come in. My whole podcast was born out of me going to write my 3rd book, which is now something different. It's not even what I went in for, but I went to this writer's workshop completely focused on, I'm going to write this next book, came out with a podcast and the 2nd book with a new publisher. Didn't even do anything about the book I went into because I was open to the information. So how do you discern what the right thing is to do for you? You know, for me, part of what I tell people when they're in that stage, and I know you're trying to maybe make a leap, when you're thinking about where should I go, you know, I would come up with ideas, but again, I would think you have to just assess and discern through time, is this an idea that fuels me continuously? Can I revisit this every day for the next 2 weeks to a month and it still pumps me up? Or is it fleeting? Did it come in as a way to make a lot of money really fast and so it felt really exciting, but I don't really want to do it? So for me, I would say start writing down all the things that you think you want to do, and just every day take a check. How does that make me feel when I think about it? Am I excited about it? Does it feel good in my body, or does my head start going? And that's the other thing. In your body, let your body tell you what the right answer is for you, not your head. It's not about figuring out the how, it's about how does it resonate. When I feel that, like when I heard about podcasting, I was like, oh my God, I can put all of my stuff on a podcast. That, like, I had this huge relief. For so long I was carrying around this burden of like, okay, I want to talk about spirituality, I want to talk about psychology, I want to talk about astrology, I want to talk about food, I want to talk about biochemistry, I want to talk about hormones, I want to talk about alternative medicine. And who's going to listen to me? And am I going to write this? Hell no, I'm not going to write this. I don't like to blog. And all of a sudden I'm like, a podcast. Oh my God, I'll do a 5 or 6 day week podcast where I can talk about it. So again, it's that like when you're in the right space, the answers will come. And the right answer may not be the right answer for like a year or 10 years. It may be the right answer for now to get you to the next level. But it's having that sort of idea of the long haul, like a minute to, and then also being able to be flexible along the way and take the cue and test something out and go, I don't know if this is going to work. And then but I really love it. And for me, what I have found, and I only laughed earlier because I was telling you guys about the product that I wanted to make, this fitness product. And I literally, because I handled my whole business, like, all right, and I have all this accolades and education and science, and the science lights me up and I love it. But I wasn't getting the response that I wanted. I wasn't getting, I'm 20 years old talking about joints. Nobody cares. Everyone wanted weight loss. They wanted to look better. They wanted to look better naked. And I'm talking about protecting their joints. Nobody, until you're injured, you don't care. And I'm like, well, how can you not care? How can you not care about protecting your joints when you exercise and lose weight and look good? But whatever, I'm a weirdo. So I realized after a while that wasn't working. All right, so I still want to talk about it because it still makes me passionate. But as I'm progressing, I'm realizing that, what do I love to do? And you guys who are on my manifestation challenge know I love law of attraction. I love talking about spirituality and astrology and how this stuff all connects. And it wasn't until I gave myself permission to do that and then got the response back that I went, oh, this is like, oh, people want me to talk about this. Cool. Now I can kind of come out of the closet and be who I am, because now I know there's a whole group of people who really want that. So the balance is, and the laughter again, as I went back, is that I started out thinking, what do I want to make that will sell a lot of things to make me a lot of money? And when you chase the money, it will not work out because it's not sustainable, because it's about a short-term thing when you chase the money. So now, a lot of you know where I am. Back in the January event, I had an idea about a product. Well, actually, I didn't have an idea about a product. I have a product I love, and I said, well, if they don't get their act together, I'm going to make it. And I was kidding. And then 2 weeks later, I went, oops, I'm going to make this product. So what am I doing now? I'm making a food product. Okay, so I have now, 18 years later, found the right product for me. And I don't even care if any of you buy it, because if nothing else, I want it. I'm making it for me. And that's now my formula. If it resonates with me, if I love it, if I'm committed to it, if it lights me up, that's what I do. And I find a way to share that in a way that brings people to me. Chris.
Juicy. I love it. I love it. It's so awesome. No, I love how you have this inspired idea and you're like, fulfills me, right? That's like thinking big in its core is like, hey, what fulfills me? What's the vision I have for this that inspires me, that moves me, that gets me excited? And I think that that's so important. And along the journey, there's going to be obstacles. Like, expect that there's going to be stuff that comes up, and it's there to make you stronger, to have you grow, to, really just along the journey, that's going to happen anyway. So trust the process and allow those things to come up, allow yourself to let them go, allow yourself to evolve through it. Because thinking big, in my opinion, most people are not taught to think big. Most people are not taught to even think very much when they're, growing up. so it's like that thinking big and, thinking out a plan, I think a better word, an even better word, is like reflection, right? Reflecting on, which I think was your theme on the 12-hour marathon. It's like reflecting on what is important. What is significant to you in your life? What moves you? What inspires you? What calls to you? What calls you forward? So that reflection is critical to be able to think big, to be able to dream big about what inspires you. And that isn't autopilot. That takes effort. It takes invested energy to get clear on that, to think out what might that be like, to visualize your perfect day. What does that look like? What does it feel like? It takes effort to do that, because most people are not on that autopilot of having a habit to do that. And we are defined by the habits that we have. Like, what are our habits? Is our habit to get in state, to get into alignment, to get into inspired action? How do we do that? How do we cultivate inspired action? And I think that those habits and the goals and breaking things down into bite-sized steps is so important. And we're going to be diving into that at the event. And I love talking about it.
Yeah, and I wanted to just remind people that we are doing a lot. We're not going to be we're going to be talking, but you're going to be doing as much as you're talking, because that's the piece where you're going to some events, people come away, and even, at our most recent event that I was at, I thought, I was looking forward to doing more. And then I didn't get to do more. And I thought, okay, see, this is where I'm my own client and I'm creating events that I want to go to for you. I want to go and unpeel the onion and get the work done and release this crap and break through these limiting beliefs and actually have it change me and then be different on the other side of it. Because why else take the time? Okay, I'm reading Chris's comments, and yes, your comment before is that yes, Ty was the one that made you crazy. So, but there, if you can go back and listen with a different, and you can scoot through half of it to get to the thing at the end, to the exercise at the end, and you've tried to write your perfect day so many times. You're going to write it. We're going to live it. We're going to go through it. Chris is going to take you through a meditation to actually go through it, and you always end up in Malibu drinking wine, and that's cool because the visualization may be that that's where you want to be. So the road that you're on, when if you do that little meditation that I did with Ty on the show, maybe at the end of that long windy road is you drinking wine in Malibu, but you're not, you know, and along the way it's being open to Petya just said it was amazing. That sounds like an amazing day, Chris, right? So get excited about that, because what does that mean for you? Like, even anyway, we're going to go, Chris is going to take you through the visualization process and the pieces that you have to do to get there. And I'm also going to go through the law of attraction piece of it too, because how we look at things. So for instance, I was looking at houses with a friend the other day, and we were, you know, visualizing and I was talking about the difference between energy and interpretation and law of attraction. So for instance, if you're looking at, a lot of people believe if they have a lot of money in the bank, that's going to make them feel good. All right, I have this much money, but if I had this much money, I'd feel safe. And I'm like, no, you wouldn't. You check it every day now, and you've got plenty of money. You're going to check it then. Like, the whole point of this is to be unattached to what it looks like, because you have the vision so strongly that that emotional relationship to that thing is unwavering, because you understand the vision so clearly that the bumps in the road and the way that you get there isn't going to throw you off center so much. So I said, okay, let's take a look at that house on the beach, that $10 million house. Now, when you look at that and I say you can have that, what do you think about that? Well, choice one is you could say, oh my God, how am I going to afford that? Oh my God, how much more do I have to work to get that? That would be, that'd be really fun. That's going to cost a lot of money. How do I have to do that? Or how do I have to work? And how much do I have to save? And how much, oh my God, how much is taxes? And what happens when I have to break something? When something breaks, I have to get it repaired. Okay, that's choice one. So if you're manifesting, listen up, all of you, in my manifestation challenge. If you are looking at something that you think you want, and then your subtext and your subconscious is replaying all of these limiting beliefs about that thing, it doesn't matter that you're looking at it. You are vibrating the lack of it. You are not in vibrational alignment with that thing. Now, on the flip side, I said, okay, so go look at that house again. And now here's your story. The house is paid off, and you have 10 years of the taxes totally paid off, and there's money in the bank. Now what happens when you look at the house? Oh, I feel relaxed and relief, and I feel so happy, and oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay, so same house, different story, all right, different vibrations. So remember, there's an inside and an outside to these things, and they have to match, and they have to be workable together in order for it to actually come to fruition and for you to be motivated by it and inspired by it. I am not about pushing people to force you to do things. I'm about inspired action. But the inspired action that you're going to work on with Chris is that the inspiration is what you want at the end of that vision. This isn't like for nothing. You're not doing it because you should or you have to. You're doing it because you want to, because you see where it's going. It lights you up to think about getting there. And maybe you're the right brain person that needs a little push in the doing of the little things. But when your eye's on the prize, you go, oh, not a big deal, because this equals that. Okay, I'll do it. Yes. So I want everyone who's listening, who's right brain, to not be so afraid of the plan, because I know some of you are. On the flip side, because no one's really attracted to me who's not at least a little bit of right brain. Those of you that are left brain that are listening to this aren't coming anyway, because you don't want to do the meditation or the emotional piece, and that's okay. But for those of you that are balanced and right brain, we do need to contain you a little bit and add the balance of actually the doing piece. We can't just meditate about it. We can't just feel about it. I mean, you need to do that first. But then that should be channeled into an inspired action of some kind that you then follow. It's not about taking action, taking action, taking action. That drives me crazy. I am tired of that business model. I'm tired of people from anxiety positions yelling at you to do more. If you're someone that does nothing, okay, maybe someone's yelling at you to do something. I am not that way. So when I hear that, I'm like, be quiet, go take a nap. All right. So there's a balance, and it's about being happy and integration. So with that said, I don't know that I have any other questions from anybody else. Chris, do you have anything? I know I'm going to get some after this is over. But if you had to give Chris, anybody, 2 pieces of advice right now, they could do right now to think bigger. Oh, and before we get that, let me qualify thinking bigger. Do I need you to think bigger? Does Chris need you to think bigger? No, we don't care. That's your life. All right. You thinking bigger is not a pressure on you to please me or please somebody else in your life. Thinking bigger is about removing those obstacles that you secretly want things. You secretly want things you're not telling anybody about because you're afraid that if you say it, someone else is going to say, you can't have that. Why do you think you should get that? You're going to be faced with either their limiting beliefs or your limiting beliefs. Yeah. So I just want to put it out there, the thinking bigger. I don't care how big you think. I want to support that. I know that there's something inside of you that you want that's different than what you have. I know it on some level, in some way, whether it be your relationship, your business, your health. Something is yearning inside of you that you're not giving a voice to. And that's what this is about us coming together to give it a voice and to put it out there and to claim it, whatever it is, even if it's this much further away from where you are, or it's this much further away from you are. I'm about to start a whole project. I don't know what I'm doing, but you know what I do? I know that I trust that I do new things all the time, and I'm a good learner. So I'm going to learn it. Yeah. And that's what I believe about myself. So it's not about the how. How can I get that? Don't worry about the how. Let's just worry about you stepping into, stop giving yourself your power away. Step into a power that you won't allow yourself to have. You can't have anything better than you have right now if you do not allow yourself to dream into a place that's better than where you are. So that is what this whole event is about. That is what we do, Burnout Coaching, and everything that I do with mind, body, soul integration piece, from invisible fitness to fit to love, to spirit, purpose, and energy, all of it. So, so with that said, back to Chris. Any two things people can do right now to either think bigger or get out of their own way?
Beautiful. Number 1 is give yourself permission to say, I want more. I want that. I want something bigger, better, more awesome for my life. Because wherever you're at, you can always cultivate that desire. And I think a lot of people feel they're not enough. They're not worthy enough. So give yourself permission. Say, I give myself permission to want more, to want this big thing, to want the house, to want the love of my life, to want the whatever that is for you, to want more, to want to be healthy, whatever that is for you. Give yourself permission. And then number 2 is go tell someone what you want. Because as long as it stays inside of your head, or even if you say it out loud, I want this, that's great. That's a step in the right direction. But it really starts to be created when you tell someone who supports you, who believes in you, who wants that for you as much as you want it. So that's my advice, and my invitation is to 1, give yourself permission. Number 2, go tell someone who you feel is going to support you in it, who's going to claim it or claim it with you, help you claim it, whatever it might be. You can comment it below right now if you want to share it like that, or if you want to message JJ, if you want to message me, if you want to tell us, we're here for you. If you have someone else who is a reliable, committed listener, a vision keeper, tell that person. But really start to share that, because we don't share things when we're afraid of being judged, when we're afraid of not being enough, when we're afraid of, what if I'm wrong? And so the more you trust yourself to share that and trust the unfoldment of it, the perfect, amazing, exactly how it's supposed to go unfoldment, even if you don't necessarily achieve that thing that you say you want, even if your path evolves, even if things take a complete 180-degree turn, it's all about being willing to play the game. Put yourself in the game. Put yourself in the ring, so to speak, of life, and say, I want this. And then tell people about it. Tell more and more. And eventually, you're going to have people who start saying, I can help you with that. Oh, I have a resource. I have a connection. I have something that will help you get that. And I highly recommend you come to the event this September 20th through the 23rd, right? I got it right this time. Yes, yes.
You were having us stay an extra day, which is cool. We could stay an extra day and play. I'll go with that. September 20th to the 23rd. And for those of you that are watching this and want to come and know that you need to be there, again, you can listen to this all day. You can read about it in a book, but are you going to do it? Is it going to stick? Are you going to do it? And you may do some of it, but is it going to be the same experience of really integrating into every cell of your being all the things that we're going to be doing at the event. So if you would like to come to the event, my special offer for today, I gave a different offer last time, so you can decide which offer is better for you. My offer today is the 9th of August. I'm going to give you 1 week, and you can get 30% off the ticket. And that includes the virtual ticket as well. Wow. So virtual ticket or the live ticket. We have some spaces left for the live ticket. I would definitely recommend that you do that if you can, because that is how it really permeates your cells. The virtual ticket is great. I've had some awesome feedback about that. So if you can't make it, but you want all the content, you want the lessons, it'll be delivered in a home study course. It is not a streaming live. I'm not going to ask you to sit at a computer for 4 days and try to do what we're doing. That's insane. Okay, you're going to get the videos after it's over for you to do on your own in the order we did them with the people that we did them with. Okay, so so that you have 1 week. So that is what? So that's the 16th. You have until the 16th of August to take 30% off by watching this video. So you will mention this, because I'm going to have to send you the link and the code to do that. And you can reach me at jjflizanes.com, or you can buy the ticket and I'll refund you the 30%, whatever works best for you. I don't really care. But we will be back here on Monday with Adam Shively. And then the week after that, we'll be back with Jeannie Peters. And the week after that, we'll be back with Jeannie Peters. And we're talking about weight loss resistance, and aging, and hormones, and vitality, and energy, and food, and how food is medicine, and what we're doing with food at the event. So I hope to see you there. I hope you get a virtual ticket. I hope you join our community, because I got a lot of powerful people around me who are going to help you and support you and hold you accountable in ways that you really secretly want. And you know you do, because when you're finally tired of having the pain in your life about not getting what you want in some area, we're here for you. We just we would like to invite you to take charge now and not keep putting it off, because the longer you put it off, the more frustrated you get and the more down on yourself you get. So we're here now. Join us on September 20th to 23rd. Again, jjflizanes.com. Next big step. We hope to see you there. Bye, guys.